Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Before we read Srimad Bhagavatam, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanishalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarvakaran Karanam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, we have been reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me share my screen. Just give me 1 minute. Alright, so devotees, yesterday we read verse number 20. Today is verse number 21st. Vidyate hridaye granthes chidyante sarva samshayaha chiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishware vidyate pierced hridaya heart granthi knots chidyante cut to pieces sarva all samshaya misgivings shiyante terminated cha and asya his karmani the chain of rotative actions drishte having seen eva certainly atmani unto the self ishvare dominating. Translation. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of rotative actions is terminated when one sees the self as the master. Purport. Attaining scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead means seeing one's self simultaneously. As far as identity of the living being as the spirit self is concerned, there are a number of speculations and misgivings. The materialist does not believe in the existence of spirit self, and empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living beings. But the transcendentalists affirm that the soul and supersoul are two different identities, qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. There are many other theories, but all these different speculations are at once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Shri Krishna is like the sun, and materialistic speculations about the absolute truth are like the darkest midnight. As soon as Krishna, sun, is arisen within one's heart, the darkness of materialistic speculation about the absolute truth and living beings is at once cleared off. In the presence of the sun, the darkness cannot stand, and the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested by the mercy of Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart as the Supersoul. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 11, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his pure devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within the heart of a devotee. Therefore, because of, because of the personality of Godhead's taking charge of illuminating the heart of his devotee, certainly a devotee engaged in his service in transcendental love cannot remain in the darkness. He comes to know everything of the absolute and relative truths. The devotee cannot remain in darkness. And because a devotee is enlightened by the personality of Godhead, his knowledge is certainly perfect. This is not the case for those who speculate on the absolute truth by the dint of their own limited power of approach. Perfect knowledge is called parampara or deductive knowledge, coming down from the authority to the submissive or oral receiver who is bona fide by service and surrender. One cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. He reserves the right of not being exposed to such a challenging spirit of an insignificant spark of the whole, a spark subjected to the control of illusionary energy. The devotees are submissive, and therefore the transcendental knowledge descends from the personality of Godhead to Brahma, and from Brahma to his sons and disciples in succession. This process is helped by the super soul within such devotees. That is the perfect way of learning transcendental knowledge. This enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and the matter is untied by the Lord. This knot is called ahankara and is falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore, all clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. One sees his master and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, making a full determination of the chain of fruitive action. In material existence, a living being creates its own chain of fruitive work and enjoys the good and bad effects of those actions life after life. But as soon as he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord, he at once becomes free from the chain of karma. His action no longer create any reaction. Next, number 22. अतो वै कवयो नित्यं भक्तिं परमया मूढः वासुदेवे भगवती कुर्वन्ति आत्मप्रसादनिम्. Ataha, therefore, why certainly, Kaviyaha, all transcendentalist, Nityam, from time immemorial, Bhaktim, service unto the Lord, Paramaya, supreme, Mudaha, with great delight, Vasudeve, Shri Krishna, Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, Kurvanti, do render, Atma, self, Prasadanim, that which enlivens. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight. because such devotional service is an enlivening to the self. Purport. The speciality of devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is specifically mentioned herein. Lord Shri Krishna is Swam Rupa, personality of Godhead, and all other forms of God, beginning from Shri Baldeva, Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Narayana, and extending to the Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Leela avatars, Yuga avatars, and many other thousands of manifestations of the personality of Godhead are Lord Shri Krishna's plenary portions and integrated parts. The living entities are separated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, Lord Shri Krishna is the original form of God, and he is the last word in the transcendence. Thus, he is more attractive to the higher transcendentalist who participate in the eternal pastime of the Lord. In the forms of personality of Godhead, other than Shri Krishna and Baladeva, there is no facility for intimate personal contact as in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord at Vrajbhumi. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord Shri Krishna are not newly accepted, as argued by some less intelligent persons. His pastimes are eternal and are manifested in due course once in a day of Brahmaji, as the sun rises on the eastern horizon at the end of every 24 hours. Next. सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतिर्गुणस्थैर्युक्तस्परा पुरुषा एक इह सा दत्ते स्थिति आद्य हरिविरिञ्चि हरते समजनः श्रेयांसि तत्र खलु सत्त्वतनुर्नृणां स्युः Sattvam, goodness, Rajaha, passion, Tamaha, the darkness of ignorance, Itihi, thus, Prakritihi, of material nature, Gunaha, qualities, Tai by them, Yuktaha, associated with, Paraha, transcendental, Purushaha, the personality, Ekaha, one, Ihayasya, of this material world, Dhatte, accepts, Sthiti, Ade, for the matter of certain maintenance and for the matter of creation, maintenance, and destruction, etc. Hari, Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Virinchi, Brahma. Hara, Lord Shiva. Iti, thus. Samjanaha, different features. Shreyamsi, ultimate benefit. Tatra, therein. Khalu, of course. Sattva, goodness. Tanoho, form. Nirdam, of human being. Shiv, derived. Translation. The transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And thus, for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Purport that Lord Shri Krishna, by his plenary parts, should be rendered devotional service, as explained above, is confirmed by this statement. Lord Shri Krishna and all his plenary parts are Vishnu Tattvas, or Lordship of Godhead. From Shri Krishna, the next manifestation is Baladeva. From Baladeva is Sankarshana. From Sankarshana is Narayana. From Narayana, there is second Sankarshana. And from this Sankarshana, the Vishnu Purusha avatars. The Vishnu or the deity of the quality of goodness in the material world is the Purusha avatar known as Shirodakshai Vishnu or Paramatma. Brahma is the deity of Rajas, passion, and Shiva of ignorance. They are three departmental heads of the three qualities of this material world. Creation is made possible by Brahma, this quality of passion, and his endeavor. It is maintained by goodness of Vishnu, and when it requires to be destroyed, Lord Shiva does it by the Tandavantantraya, Tandav, Tandavantraya. The materialist and foolish human beings worship Brahma and Shiva respectively, but the pure transcendentalist worship the form of goodness, Vishnu in his various forms. Vishnu is manifested by his millions and billions of integrated forms and separated forms. The integrated forms are called Godhead, and separated forms are called living entities or jivas. Both jivas and Godhead have their original spiritual forms. Jivas are sometimes subjected to the control of material energy, but the Vishnu forms are always controllers of this energy. When Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, appears in the material world, he comes to deliver the conditioned living beings who are under the material energy. Such living beings appear in the material world with the intentions of being lords, and thus they become entrapped by the three modes of nature. As such, living entities have to change their material coverings for undergoing different terms of imprisonment. The prison house of the material world is created by Brahma under instruction of the personality of Godhead. And at the conclusion of a kalpa, the whole thing is destroyed by Shiva. But as far as maintenance of the prison house is concerned, it is done by Vishnu as much as state prison house is maintained by the state. Anyone, therefore, who wishes to get out of this prison house of material existence, which is full of miseries like repetition of birth, death, disease, and old age, must please Lord Vishnu for such liberation. Lord Vishnu is worshipped by devotional service only. And if anyone has to continue prison life in this material world, he may ask for relative facilities for temporary relief from different demigods like Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Varuna. No demigod, however, can release the imprisoned living being from the conditioned life of material existence. This can be done only by Vishnu. Therefore, the ultimate benefit may be derived from Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Next, 24. Parthivad Daruno Dhumas Tasmad Agnistrayimaya Tamsastu Rajastasmat Sattvam Yad Brahma Darshanam. Parthivad from earth, Daruna firewood, Dhumaha smoke, Tasmat from that, Agni fire, Trai Vedic sacrifices, Mayaha made of, Tamsa in the mode of ignorance, two but, Rajaha the mode of passion, Tasmat from that, Sattvam the mode of goodness, Yat which, Brahma the absolute truth, Darshanam realization. Translation: the firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than raw wood, and fire is still better. For by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, tamas, but goodness, sattva, is best, because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. Purport. As explained above, one can get release from conditioned life of material existence by devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is further comprehended herein that one has to rise to the platform of the mode of goodness, sattva, so that one can be eligible for the devotional service of the Lord. But if there are impediments on the progressive path, anyone, even from the platform of tamas, can gradually rise to the sattva platform by the expert direction of the spiritual master. Sincere candidates must therefore approach an expert spiritual master for such a progressive march, and bona fide expert spiritual master is competent to direct a disciple from any stage of life, tamas, rajas, or sattva. It is a mistake, therefore, to consider that worship of any quality or any form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally beneficial. Except Vishnu, all separated forms are manifested under the conditions of material energy, and therefore the forms of material energy cannot help anyone to rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate a person from material bondage. The uncivilized state of life, or the life of lower animals, is controlled by the mode of tamas. The civilized life of a man with a passion for various types of material benefits is the stage of rajas. The rajas stage of life gives a slight clue to the realization of absolute truth in the forms of fine sentiments in philosophy, art, and the culture with moral and ethical principles. But the mode of sattva is still a higher stage of material quality, which actually helps one in realizing the absolute truth. In other words, there is a qualitative difference between different kinds of worshipping methods as well as the respective results derived from the predominating deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Hara. Next, 25th. भिजेरे मुन्नयोथाग्रे भागवताम् अधोक्षजम् सत्वं विशुद्धं क्षेमया कल्पन्ते येनु तान् इह भिजेरे rendered service unto Munayah, the sages, Athaha, thus, Agre, previously, Bhagwantam, unto the personality of Godhead, Adhokshajam, the transcendence, Sattvam, existence, Vishuddham, above the three modes of nature, Shemaya, to derive the ultimate benefit, Kalpante, deserve, Ye, those, Anu, follow, Tan, those, Iha, in the material world. Translation. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain nor to get the simple knowledge of discerning matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person. The laws of religion, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, and except for the Mahajanas, or the authorized agents of the Lord, no one knows the purpose of religion. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajanas and thus attain supreme benefit. So the next verse is very long, so we'll stop here. We'll do verse number 26 tomorrow. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, शिला व्यासदेव की जय. Anybody have any question, correction, chastisement? All right, so if nothing else, we'll stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. Anantakoti Vaishnavind ki jai. So thank you, dear devotees, for listening to me, and please forgive me if I have not read properly. So now we'll stop here and continue chanting.